As you can see, the conflict has taken its toll on the Gaza Strip and its fragile economy as well. According to the UN, the damage to the area's farming sector alone is worth $450 million. And efforts to rebuild an already devastated area is facing an uphill climb because both sides won't compromise. More now with Bianca Davey.
As the fighting between Israel and Hamas continues, calls to lift Israel's blockade of the Gaza Strip are growing louder. United Nations agencies and countries donating aid to the Palestinians say the blockade will only worsen the humanitarian crisis. The UN Relief and Works Agency chief has warned Israel's iron grip on the Strip will make it very difficult to rebuild Gaza's economy.
With the extent of destruction that has taken place now, you can really not imagine that we would achieve anything before, 15 years or more if it's at that rhythm.
The fighting erupted in July as Israel launched an offensive to stop Hamas rocket attacks into its territory. Hamas is the Islamist group controlling the Gaza Strip. Hamas demanded an end to a long-running Israeli-Egyptian blockade of the enclave that stunted the Gaza economy. It's also left nearly 2 million Palestinians reliant on international aid. Now the UN says the extent of destruction in Gaza is worse than it's ever been. And that's why they want the blockade lifted so they can rebuild the area. But Israel says that rebuilding will lead to more Hamas attacks.
And in opening up Gaza for the inflow of terror, I think that we are going to strengthen Gaza. It will become an Islamic terrorist base which will endanger not only Israel, but many others in the world.
In the meantime, neither side is budging. Hamas has said it won't be laying down its weapons. Israel has responded by saying it wants Gaza completely demilitarized. But Netanyahu hasn't hinted that he wants to occupy or govern the area itself. Tel Aviv has been willing to loosen the Gaza blockade, just as long as the Palestinian Authority takes control of the borders from Hamas. Still, Netanyahu is against a full lifting of the blockade, since many of the materials shipped to Gaza have been used by Hamas to build tunnels that were used by the group to attack Israel. Some UN estimates suggest that it could cost up to $10 billion to rebuild infrastructure that's been destroyed.
There has been too much loss of life and injury and destruction already for Gaza to cope with. So the ceasefire is important, but it's not enough. It is not enough to have a cessation of hostilities and then go back to the pre-existing conditions under the blockade.
The violence has left 64 Israeli soldiers and 3 civilians killed. On the other side, 2,000 Palestinians are dead, most of them civilians. Nearly 500 of them were children. Bianca Davey, CCTV.